Hi, everyone, and welcome to another live stream, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Q&A. Once again, I'm branching out into trying to reach a few different platforms at the one time. So let me know where you're all tuning in from. Okay, while everyone is just finding out that the live stream is starting, I'm just going to make sure things have started. Oh, here we go. Okay. Hi, everyone on Insta, YouTube, and hopefully Facebook. Thank you for joining me here today. It's wonderful to have you back. Okay, I love doing these live streams. My name's Nova, and I am a narcissistic abuse expert. I'm a professional counsellor here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And my podcast is called Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. Of course, if you've been involved with a narcissist, then you have their flying monkeys in your life as well. And flying monkeys can be just as damaging or do just as much damage as the narcissists themselves. Now, hope you're all enjoying my podcast, Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm just going to see, guys, while I'm waiting for everyone to join the live, if I can see what's going on in Instagram land here. And hopefully I'll be able to see all of your comments. But let me know whereabouts in the world you're tuning in from. And, of course, comment your questions below for me. If you've been a victim of narcissistic abuse, or if you know someone who has, then this is the place to be. I'd love to be able to answer your questions. But specifically, today I thought I would touch on something that we don't often realize when we've been involved with a narcissist. And that is that they actually need you. And what that means is that the narcissist envies you. Now, envy is one of those 9 traits that we all find in the DSM-5. You know, if you've been, and I'm sure you all have been doing all your research, then you will have seen those 9 traits there. And pathological envy is one of those traits. They think that everyone is envious of them, but they are also envious of others whom they see as having something better than them or being better than them in some way. So the narcissist can't be alone. Okay, we most of us know that they can't be alone, because to be alone is to be alone with their true self. And that true self is weak and vulnerable and pathetic. And that's why they spend their whole lifetime forming this mask, this new persona, if you will, that masks that true self that they bury deep down inside of them. So when they need you, when they become an adult, that's when you really start to see those narcissistic traits come out. That's when you will start to see that the narcissist always has to have someone around them. You probably don't know that that's who they are at the time, but if you've been a victim of a narcissist, then you know that painfully they will discard you and move on without, a second's notice, without even glancing backwards. Just like it's another Tuesday, they will move on to someone else because there's no attachment to their previous target. But they can't be alone, because to be alone is to be alone with themselves. And that's just a place they don't want to venture. So that means they need you. And, we think that that when we find ourselves in that position of being trauma bonded to our abuser, and we logically know, we know on a logical level just how toxic and abusive they are, but we can't seem to stay away from them. We keep going back, or we leave and we go back again and again, or we just can't find the strength to leave. We think there's something wrong with us, which reinforces, what they've been telling us all along, that we're the problem. And it's actually the other way around. The narcissist needs you way more than you need them, because to be alone is to be without narcissistic supply, and that's a fate worse than death for a narcissist. And that's why they will go to the ends of the earth. They will put so much effort into getting you hooked forever, if possible, as a source of narcissistic supply. So narcissists envy the fact that you can be alone. You can be alone and be happy. You can be in a room by yourself and not necessarily suffer this massive anxiety and agitation that they would. And literally, that's how they feel if they don't have a source, a target, someone reflecting back to them that mask they wear is real. So I'm just going to see who's here, guys. Don't forget to say hi in the comments and let me know where you're tuning in from. We've got Raphael Cordoba is there. Hi, Raphael. How you going? Thanks for joining me. I'm just going to see if I can pull up Instagram just to see if I can see all your beautiful faces on Instagram. And I can. And on Insta, we've got Marcella has joined. Hi, Marcella. And we've got Harkness Granger has joined us. Hello. DT Meditations is there. Surviving. P6756 has joined us. Thanks for joining, guys. Don't forget to put your questions down below, and I'll answer as many as I possibly can. Okay, so getting back to the narcissist, their envy of you. It's something that you don't really think of when you're feeling so beaten down and so abused and broken. But the narcissist envies everything about someone who can be genuinely happy in life. And of course, that is going to be you, because they always choose someone who is exactly the opposite of them. So they choose you for your compassion, for your empathy, for your kindness, the fact that you will put someone else first, and that your needs will always come behind them. So it's kind of like the perfect union for the narcissist. They need someone who will give, and the narcissist, the empath, needs someone who they can give to, and the narcissist is never going to do anything but take. So you've got you wanting to give all the time, and the narcissist wanting to take all the time. So it's kind of like this crazy union where both people benefit. Only the narcissist is the only one who wins in the end, and the victim, the empath, ends up this crumpled heap on the ground because they've drained you of all the goodness there is in you. Okay, so YouTube has just sent me a message. You try and make it out for me, guys. We have reviewed your live, and we are choosing to warn you for using hateful noises. This is against our guidelines. Do not do this again. Okay, YouTube, not sure what what hateful noises I was making, but I will do my best to stop doing whatever it is I was doing. We've got Christopher Whitley is there. Hi, Christopher. Who else have we got? Guys, don't forget to look out for my podcast, Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, which is going great guns all over the world. You can listen to it on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. And don't forget to look out for my best-selling book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. We got Flippy there. Hi, Flippy. Now, guys, I did a podcast just this week. We've got IT Crash has just joined us on Insta. Hello. Just this week around the fact that narcissists can make you sick. Okay, you can really get sick when you're in a relationship with a narcissist. Now, it kind of makes sense, and I'd love to know your comments and your thoughts on, what you've experienced when you've noticed like the physical repercussions of your abuse. But, I talk a lot about this in my book, Fake Love. People experience, anxiety, depression, migraines, fibromyalgia, I believe is a really common experience that victims go through. All kinds of things, hypertension. And this is why it's so important to get support and to get away from your abuser. You can't fix them, but you can make yourself really sick trying in the meantime. Now, it kind of makes sense that you would get sick when you're in a state of fight or flight, basically 24 hours a day. If you can imagine that feeling that you have of being on that roller coaster when, for those of you, if you jumped out of a plane before, or if you've, gone bungee jumping. When I say jump out of a plane, I mean skydiving, not literally just, walking off the side. But that feeling with the adrenaline pumping, this time the cortisol's pumping, and all of those horrible chemicals that make your heart beat faster. But this isn't just for a brief moment. This is ongoing. This is virtually 24 hours a day. So I'm a lay person, so I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice clearly, but it makes sense that if your body is working that much harder, in other words, your heart's pumping faster to get the blood to the extremities because you're not breathing properly, and you're in that state of fight or flight where you're walking on eggshells all the time and your anxiety's through the roof, and there's just no peace in your life. It makes sense that your body is going to eventually say, you know what, I've had enough. And, I kind of believe that getting sick when you're in these toxic, abusive relationships, even insomnia, or sleeping too much, not being able to get out of bed, those things can, have a really negative impact on your physical health, as well as your emotional and your psychological welfare, guys. So please, don't wait till you get sick. And if you notice that you are getting sick and you feel the difference in your health after being in this toxic, abusive relationship, please do everything you can. Reach out, get support. Don't forget, I'm a professional counsellor here in Brisbane, Australia, but I counsel people via Zoom all over the world. And hopefully this live stream is reaching many of you all over the world. So I am going to get better at these live stream, guys, because I've just started branching out, trying to do more platforms at once with StreamYard. So, yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a trial and error for me. But, yeah, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. Going to be lots more live streams coming up and lots of interesting interviews. Now, I've spoken to some amazing people so far on my podcast. So look out. You can find it here on YouTube, Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. You know, I've had the pleasure of speaking to some incredible guests, some experts in there, as well as some victims and survivors who very bravely have told their story and how they escaped, what it was like for them in their abuse and with their abuse, and what it's like for them now after, you know, they've been discarded or they've managed to escape. So please, yeah, look out for the podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that subscribe channel and the bell, and you won't miss another episode or live stream. Okay, so that's really weird. YouTube's sending me messages like I'm putting out, I don't know, something that would be just really not suitable for kids. I assure you, YouTube, I'm not fully dressed in this live stream and not making any kind of animal sounds or anything like that, because that's what it's telling me. Animal sounds, I don't get it. Okay, maybe I sound a bit hoarse today. Rightio, we've got Steph Kerr there. Steph Kerr. Hi, Steph. Let me know whereabouts you're from. Steph says, plethora of immune disorders and spent many years feeling numb, frozen, and lacking motivation. Yeah, it can do so much damage, Steph, and everyone else. Just going to turn my air conditioner down because it's getting really cold, even though it's hot as, you know what, here in Brisbane at the moment, sunny Queensland. It can do a lot of damage. It can really take a toll on your body. I really want you to think about that, guys, if you're thinking about going back to the abuser, to your abuser, because it only ever gets worse. And for those of you who have been back, which is not your fault, okay, the abuse is never your fault, but you know that it only ever gets worse, because if they hoover you back, or you know, if you go back for whatever reason, then they need to punish you for being able to live without them, for being able to heal if it looks like that's what you're doing, for not begging them to come back. They've got to punish you, and it will be worse if you were the one to leave them. So every time you go back, well, number one, you put the snooze button on the rest of your life. You just put your future life of happiness on hold, and you keep, it's like sleeping in, and you've got your alarm set, and then you go, no, I can't do it this time. So you hit the snooze button and you go back to sleep. But 5 minutes later, you wake up and you feel even worse than when if you had just gotten up the 5 minutes earlier. And then you keep putting it on, then you keep putting it on. And this is what you do every time you go back to your abuser, you put the snooze button on the rest of your life, and it gets worse because they feel angry that you weren't doing all those things I was talking about earlier. They need to punish you for that. And because they feel like they've got just that much more power. You think about it. If you're the narcissist, just put your narcissist goggles on for a minute. I know that's a horrible thought, but you put your narcissist goggles on, those hypothetical ones. Now, they have abused you. Okay, they know what they're doing. They know it hurts. They just feel entitled to do it. They feel justified. So they abuse you, and they cheat, they lie, they steal, they triangulate you, and with others, pitch you against them, and to isolate you and make you feel, like you've got no one. And you beg them to take you back, or they, in their mind, just have to crook their little finger and you come back. That's how they think. It just makes them feel that much more grandiose, more powerful. Sadistically, if they manage to hook you back in for another round of abuse, because that's all it will be, it makes them feel more powerful because they abused you so much, and then they're able to get you back to do it all over again. So yeah, there's no empathy there. Obviously, they justify their abuse towards you. You deserved it. So if they can hook you back in, then it makes them feel just that bit better, grander. This is how narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths think. You think about, a typical scammer online, someone who, one of those people you see on Dr. Phil or one of those other shows where they take advantage of, a lonely, vulnerable person, perhaps someone who's lost their spouse, has just come into life insurance or something like that. They've got a bit of money, and that scammer will come along and take everything from them and just destroy their life. Now we can look at that from the outside and think, how could you do that? How could you take from someone who's clearly so vulnerable, take everything in their world from them, and then just throw them away like garbage? And yet that's what the narcissist is doing to you. It's just not necessarily in that context of, pretending to be someone online, or, one of those, oh gosh, I forget what you call them, but when they've got a different image to who they really are, they can pretend to be someone else. But yeah, when they discard you guys, it's only when they hook you back in, it's only to see if you're up for another round of abuse, and that's exactly what you will go through, and you will get sick if you're not already. So one thing, I'm just going to say hi to a few more people we've got here. We've got Elna Rajasman. Hi, Elna. Elna says, hi, can narcissists find happiness with someone else? What are the chances of them changing? Okay, great question, Elna. So my definitive response to that for everyone who is listening, because I know if Elna's answered this question, there will be, if you're not watching this live, then you will watch it, as a video at another time. So please hear me when I say that the answer to Eleanor's question around whether they can be happy with someone else and can they change. Well, let's start with the second half of your question, Eleanor. And the second half is a resounding no. They can't change into someone else, because that's what we're asking when we ask that question. And I hear it a lot. I hear it from victims who have been traumatized, who come to see me in my counseling practice, and they remember the good times. They remember the person they loved, whether that's a parent or an intimate partner, and they want that person to remain. That they want that person, if it's an intimate partner they met in the beginning, they want that person back for good, and they want the abusive person to go forever. And for that to happen, that would mean that this was something that was some kind of illness or some kind of mental health problem that they just have no idea about and that they can't control. And the reality is that they can control it just fine, depending on who is watching. And narcissists know what they're doing. They just don't care because they have no empathy. That doesn't mean they don't know right from wrong. They don't know that they're hurting you because, well, number one, you're telling them. You're telling them this is hurting me. And they will virtually step over your body as you're sobbing on the floor and say, what are you making me for dinner? There's no empathy there. So with an adult's body and an adult's intelligence, with the emotional intelligence of a toddler, they're at the emotional developmental stage of, a very young child where it's all me, 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 me. They spit their dummy on the ground. They're like those, I don't know, have this vision of, this is only because I was watching a National Geographic documentary with my kids the other day, but at a zoo, when you see those monkeys that are having a bit of a tantrum behind the bars on their cage, and someone walks past and they start throwing poop at those people, they're like that. They're like a monkey having a little temper tantrum, or a little 2-year-old having a temper tantrum. That's the emotional equivalent that you've got, a monkey throwing poop. They just don't think about anyone else but themselves, but they have the IQ, the intelligence of, and it's normally quite high, if not very high. They have to be intelligent to be able to play this abusive game like a chess player, where they're predicting moves and working out what piece will fall in advance as they make each move. They have to have a decent IQ, but that there is no empathy there. So the essence of that is you have to think you've got a problem to want to change, and they don't think that they have a problem. We think that they have a problem because they're not like us, and we view humanity as people who have empathy and would not intentionally hurt someone else. So we project too. We project all of our good traits onto them, but they don't think there's anything wrong. They're not going to put their hand up unless they're manipulating you, to walk into a counselor's office and say, hey, I really need help. I think I'm a narcissist. And if you've done that, then you're reflecting on your behavior. So that's definitely not you. But Will they? So I hope that answers that question. No, they won't change. They will love bomb. They will pretend to be someone else, always, to begin with, to hook that person in, and they will wear that mask for as long as they deem necessary. They are a chameleon, and they save their abuse for behind closed doors, unless they're, you know, one of those flamboyant, out there, overt narcissists who just so extreme they just don't care who knows it. But, you know, my belief is that most narcissists are covert narcissists. The majority of my clients have been involved with a covert narcissist, and they infiltrate your life very, very sneakily. They fly under the radar. So they think you've got the problem. They don't see themselves as having a problem. So they're not going to change. And any change that you see is short-lived, and you will all know that if you've gone back, because they can't change. It's like saying to, you know, you or your best friend, can you change your personality for me? Well, that's who you are. The traits that you have, those little idiosyncrasies that make up who you are as a person, that, you know, all your experiences that you have endured over your lifetime, combined with the values and the beliefs that have been instilled in you over time, as well as, you know, genetics, all of that mixed in forms your personality. So you can't change your personality, I guess, unless, you know, you're medicated to do so. Why would you want to change your personality, especially if you like who you are and they like who they are? So the first part of your question, will they be happy with someone else? It's painful, guys, to see them supposedly happy with the next target. And that's all you will see when you're looking on social media, or if you're listening to what people are telling you. You will see the happy snaps where they're love bombing someone else, you know, which supports the fact that they don't change. They have to be over the top and bigger and better than everyone else in the beginning to hook you in quick and get you hooked while your head's spinning so fast you haven't got time to think, and so that you're hooked before the mask drops, before you see who they really are. So they're love bombing someone else if you are seeing them happy, you know, on social media, or you're hearing about it. So it depends on what you define as happy. Now, happiness and we can never get inside a narcissist's head, but we know, you know, through research and just the absolute textbook behaviors from relationship to relationship, where they engage in exactly the same behaviors. They hook you in with the over the top, you know, I'm the nicest person in the world. In other words, they love bomb you. Then when they know you're hooked on that person they pretended to be. Okay, they're an actor on a stage. When you're hooked on that person, then they start to devalue you because it's boring in that stage, and also because they need to relax and be who they really are. It takes a lot of work to love bomb someone, and it's got to be all about you. And that's just not on for the narcissist. So that's got to be done, and it's got to be put to rest and finished, never to start again, as soon as possible. So they get the love bombing out the way really quickly. And after that, you will only see breadcrumbs, because then it's all about them. They control the narrative. So your happiness is about you enjoying life, and you know, I guess you would describe it in your own way, but you know, loving the people around you, being happy in your own company, being happy in yourself, being you know, at peace. Let's use that word, because I think that's a pretty universal kind of word to describe happiness. Being at peace and having peace and harmony in your life. So if you're looking at whether a narcissist will be happy in terms of having peace and harmony in their life, no, never. No, they will never have peace and harmony. They are, I talk once again about this in my book. I wish I had a copy around me. Better make sure of that for the next live stream. But I talk about this a lot in my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. And the narcissist is like, to me, they're like a shark, you know, that swims around endlessly looking for the next meal. And, you know, they never sleep, and they're always looking out for blood and for, you know, the next target. They're a predator. And, you know, that is what a narcissist is to me. That's just what springs to mind. So when the shark, you know, sees its prey, and it's, I would imagine, be happy as a shark can be with a full belly. It doesn't mean that that its life is suddenly filled, you know, with peace. It's just on to the next meal, and you know, making sure its surroundings are devoid, remiss of, or devoid of enemies. This is what it's like for them. They are always in a state of manipulating people and seeking narcissistic supply from the moment they wake up. You know, this is why they can't be alone. They have to have that ongoing attention, admiration, attention in the form of, you know, negative or positive. It doesn't matter. So, but so no, they can never be genuinely at peace, and everyone else. But what I think you really want to know, and most people really want to have answered, is will they change, and will they, you know, stay that happy person that you met in the beginning, that appeared to be happy, for the next person? Because they made out that I was the problem. Everything was wrong with me. And by the end, they convinced you it was all your fault. And you did have anxiety. If you didn't before, you sure as hell will have it at the end. They will make damn sure of that, because you can't be walking on eggshells all the time and not experience anxiety. But of course, then they will say that that's one of the issues in the relationship, guys. And that anxiety, all of those physical, mental health issues that you experience because of your trauma, because of what your abuser did to you, please know those symptoms are not the cause of the abuse. They are the result of the abuse. So they will not change. Okay, so just a quick summary of why they can't and won't change. Now, a narcissist, we know it's all about them. It's all about their ego, and the world revolves around them. And you guys are the experts in your trauma. You've done your research. You know who and what they are now. They're not isolated incidents of an unpleasant person. So in knowing your truth, what that means is everything's about them. So going into the next relationship, they're going to do what narcissists do. So they've got to hook that person in. And that means they've got to be over the top. And this love bombing, being over the top, it's kind of two-pronged in that it's also to refute that internal shame. Remembering NPD is actually a shame-based disorder. So by being bigger and grander, you know, getting out the violins, so to speak, and sending you text messages, the equivalent of a Hallmark greeting card, you know, they're bigger and better than everyone else. So they're refuting that internal shame. You know, they're always burying or stomping on the head of that true self, so it never comes to surface. And if it looks like you've got a glimpse, or you've had a glimpse of that true self, in other words, you've seen behind the mask, that's when you will experience their narcissistic rage to punish it. But it's got to be all about them. So they love bomb that person, hook them in, and then it's got to be about them. So that love bombing period, knowing they're a narcissist, that's not sustainable. That they wouldn't be a narcissist if they stayed that person that you met in the beginning. And someone who genuinely was like that person you met in the beginning wouldn't flip into the person, the monster you knew in the end. That just wouldn't happen. So they kick back and they become who they really are. They drop the act, so to speak. So that's how you know they will not change for the next person. But you will only see propaganda if you look online, because they want to put it out to the world that, you know, they're the most amazing person in the most amazing relationship with the next soulmate, you know, the 10th soulmate of the year. And that's to hook the new soulmate in and to destroy you as the old primary source. So they've got positive supply here and negative from you. So they've got this ongoing smorgasbord. So it cannot stay the same. It's not sustainable. It has to be about them. So what you're asking when you say, will they change, is will they remain that nice person? And that nice person, the one who, the breadcrumbs of the good times you remember with, that person does not exist, because someone who is genuinely like that person, you want them to be, because it felt good. It felt good, and it felt rock bottom when they flipped into the Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. It hurt, so you want that person back, and that person doesn't exist. So no, but please don't look. It will only hurt you, and it keeps your abuser inside your head. So don't look at their social media. Don't have a sneak peek and see, you know, what the new target looks like, or, you know, what their history is, because that's contact. That's like the heroin addict putting the needle back in their arm just to get a reprieve from the withdrawal pains. And it just starts the cycle up again. Okay, so yeah, I spent a bit more time on that answer, guys, because it is such a common question. And here's just briefly why. I virtually hear it from, and I've spoken to thousands of people in my practice, and the only people I speak to are narcissistic abuse victims and survivors. I think just about everyone asks that question if they've been in an intimate relationship, because you've been conditioned to believe that the abuse was your fault, that you were the problem, and you are a crumpled heap at the end. You most probably are acting totally out of character, maybe irrationally, engaging in that reactive abuse, trying to seek closure around your, disposal. It's horrible to experience that level of betrayal and then to see them with someone else. And clearly that didn't start just that day. That is excruciatingly painful. So you've been told that everything's your fault. You are sick, anxiety-ridden, acting frantically, and they're happy. They're telling you that, they're wishing you a happy future, no hard feelings, and they're just fine. It's just another Tuesday for them. So it reinforces that the problem was with you. And remember, you've been gaslighted out of your reality for so long that you have been conditioned to not trust your instincts. So you can't trust your instincts. You are seeing them. There's happy as Larry. There's nothing wrong with them. They're happy, and you are broken, just like they told you. So it reinforces what they conditioned you to believe all along, which was the problem was with you. So if the problem is with you and you're the broken heap and you're messed up and you're on pills, which they told you to do to get yourself some help, but then they use the fact that you're on pills against you to abuse you further. If you're the broken one and you're just so messed up, what if the next person is okay? What if there's nothing wrong with that next person and they haven't got all the issues that you do? This is what the narcissist has conditioned you to think. Then if that new person, that new target is happy and they don't have all the problems you have, no anxiety, and they're not messed up, then maybe that good person that love bombed you will stay with that person. And that's why you think they will change. So lots of support, guys. If you are thinking they will change for the next person, no. They will engage in exactly the same cycle of abuse that they did with you. But you're not going most likely to see that abuse because they want everyone on the outside of their closed doors just to see the propaganda, to see the happy snaps. And if it's a parent, they want the world to see that, or to think that they're this amazing family and the everything is just wonderful. And really what's going on behind those closed doors is horrific, with the covert psychological, emotional abuse at the very least. So don't look, because especially in the early days when you're extremely vulnerable, it will hurt. And it hurts because you're not reptilian. You're not like the narcissist. So don't look. It will never be something that will make you feel good. Yeah. Caution to the wind. Caution to the wind says, would you say narcissism and racism is the same thing? I have not read any evidence to say that narcissism and racism are the same thing. Are you meaning people who are racist, always narcissists, or vice versa, are all narcissists racist? Once again, I haven't read or come across any research to say that that's not to say that there wouldn't be. I imagine that there would be many narcissists out there. You think about it, they have this sense of entitlement. They're better than everyone else. So I would imagine that there would be many narcissists where that grandiosity, that ego-driven behavior would branch into racism, in that they would think that people who are not like them are beneath them. Absolutely. Do I think that there's an absolute connection there? I don't think so. I don't think you can definitively say that one necessarily goes with the other, but I would think that there would definitely be, a very large proportion of narcissists who would fall into the category of thinking that they're so much above and better than people who are different from them in race. So yeah, I hope that's kind of given you a bit of an answer there. But yeah, I don't know of any. They're definitely not the same thing, but I'm sure that there would be a great deal, or a strong commonality with excuse me, with narcissism and racism. Okay. Who else have we got? We've got Peggy Scory's just joined. Hey, Peggy, don't forget, guys, to share these live streams. Sharing is caring. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe and button and bell so you never miss another live stream, because I haven't actually got into a cycle yet where I can definitively give you dates. So if you hit that bell and that subscribe button, you will know in advance, and certainly ahead of everyone else. Caution to the wind says they use the same tactics for control of others. Yeah, absolutely they do. It's about manipulation, isn't it? It's about, pretending to be, someone that cares about you. Being someone who's not disordered with a normal range of emotions, we tend to look at other people and take them at face value, unless, of course, you've been burnt by a narcissist. Then you should be a little more cautious. That's not paranoia. That's self-care and boundaries. But we don't tend to, immediately ascribe narcissism to someone we just meet. And so a narcissist will take advantage of your innocence, of your kindness, and use that as a weapon against you. And they certainly use those tactics on everyone. Hook you in with the nice persona, and then start to confuse you when the mask starts to drop, and you're conditioned to override the red flags, which start off very small, and they get bigger and bigger over time. And as they get bigger, so do your coping abilities or your capacity to override the red flags. That becomes stronger as they become bigger. So you're slowly conditioned to accept and tolerate and make excuses for their abusive behavior, because it's intermittently actioned out, or they're dispersed with the breadcrumbs of the nice person, and you want that nice person back. So it's this slow, insidious wearing down of your boundaries. Okay. So guys, I'm just going to answer one more question before I go, but don't forget to share, guys, and don't forget to follow me for more, and look out for my podcast, Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, putting out about 3 or 4 episodes a week. And you can find that on any platform here on YouTube, and certainly on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one counselling session with me, I counsel people via Zoom all over the world. So just see my profile for my website details and flip me a message, and I'd love to better support you one-on-one. So who else have we got? We've got okay. We've got Shay there. Hi, Shay. Shay says, I'll just end with you. Lovely. Shay says, separate beds or try to get out. Somehow I lost my brother and father. Oh, my goodness. In the past few years, this is another grief and death. It's so hard. I didn't get to see the start of your answer. Or your comment there. I'm so sorry, Shay. But yeah, please get lots and lots of support, and please don't think you're alone. Join a support group online. There's many private ones on there, and yeah, unfortunately, your comments disappeared. But oh gosh, I've just seen you've had 6 screws and a plate in your fibula. Oh my goodness, 6 weeks in crutches. You have been through the ringer. I don't know how that happened, but I am so sorry. And yeah, praying for you here for your recovery, but please get support because you did not deserve the abuse. Okay. Who else have we got? All right, guys. I might leave it there. Oh, whoops, we've got Stephanie Lewis is there. Hi, Stephanie. Okay, Stephanie says, who cares what they do next? Good riddance. Find something else to be happy, a hobby, evolve. Yeah, well, it's not always as easy as that, Stephanie. That certainly is the goal. But yeah, when you're trauma bonded to your abuser, it can be really, really hard to break away when it's a trauma bonding, creates a very, very powerful attachment, addiction to your abuser. Anyway, all right, guys, take care. I will see you on the next live stream. Don't forget to contact me for a counseling session and subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell so you'll be notified about the next one, and share, share, share. All right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. See you on the next one. Bye.